Hello and welcome to a tour of our Class C Minnie Winnie RV. Before we take a look inside, let's start with the keys. This large ignition key unlocks your cab doors. The small silver key unlocks all outside compartments. The square key is for the coach door deadbolt and the round one is for the coach door handle. Let's take a look inside the cab. As you can see from the windshield decal, this vehicle is 12 feet high, so please be aware of overhead obstructions. For example, never enter parking garages. This vehicle is also larger and heavier than a regular car, so please allow for greater stopping distance and go easier on turns. Stay on paved public roads. Gravel roads are only okay at low speed on campgrounds. The registration and insurance papers are under the driver's side sun visor. The steering wheel has a tilt function. To adjust it, pull the lever on the left of the steering column towards you. Adjust the steering wheel and then let go of the lever to lock it into position. On the steering wheel, you'll find the cruise control options. The hazard light is at the top of the steering column. On the left side are the controls for the windshield wipers. Push here for the spray function. This lever also controls your high beams. This is your dashboard light dimmer switch. The dial on the left of the dashboard controls the lights. They will have to be turned on and off manually. If you should forget the light on, an alarm will chime when you remove the ignition key. In the unlikely event that your engine battery dies, you can turn on the ignition and push the battery boost switch in the middle of the dash to start your engine by drawing power from the coach battery. Down here are the 12-volt charging plugs and the USB plug. Right above it is the radio, which is Bluetooth enabled. To access the Bluetooth menu, the vehicle needs to be in park and the parking brake needs to be engaged. The parking brake is down to the left of the brake pedal. To engage it, push down with your foot, and to release it, pull up on this lever above the brake on the lower dash. This vehicle has an automatic transmission. To begin driving, step on the brake pedal, pull the lever at the top of the steering column towards you and put the vehicle into drive to go forward and reverse to go backwards. Then take your foot off the brake and you'll be ready to roll. When you're in reverse gear, your backup camera automatically comes on, but don't rely only on the camera. You should always have someone guiding you when you're going backwards. Also, please adjust your mirrors manually before driving off. You can move this seat backwards and forwards by pulling up on the metal bar under the front of the seat, and you can also adjust the backrest by pulling on the lever at the door side back base of the driver's seat. The hood release is near the parking brake. Let's pull it and then go take a look under the hood. To open it, you'll have to feel for the release latch in the center of the grille. Then hold the hood in place with this rod. The windshield wiper fluid can be filled right here on the left. If it ever runs low, please add -20-degree windshield washer fluid, not water. Down here on the right is the dipstick for the engine oil. You should check it every second time you fill up your fuel tank to make sure it's somewhere between the minimum and maximum level. You can add oil here on the left. All fluids are topped off when you pick up your vehicle. But should you have to add oil on the road, use 5W30 synthetic blend. Please save your receipt and we'll refund you when you drop off your RV. Also, if you have any problem that requires a fix, as long as the cost is under $50, we'll refund that at drop-off too. With anything over $50, please call our roadside assistance line for authorization first. Next, let's talk about the generator. It's located just to the rear of the driver's side door. The small silver key unlocks this door, but you shouldn't ever need to access the generator as all of its controls are inside the coach. The generator runs on the same fuel as your engine. As a safety feature, the generator will stop working when your fuel drops below a quarter tank. This prevents you from accidentally running out of gas. When running the generator, make sure the window directly above is closed. Also be sure to keep children away from the exhaust pipe, as it can become hot to the touch from generator use. Running the generator will allow all of the high-powered devices inside the vehicle without the need to plug into an external power source. This includes use of the air conditioning, television, microwave, and wall plugs. Next, let's look at this box to the upper right of the generator. Inside is the 30 amp external power connection. To set it up, unplug the cord from the vehicle and plug it into the campground. If the campground only gives you access to 15 amps of power, you can use the adapter provided within the coach. While the 30 amp connection gives power to every device, a 15 amp connection will give power to everything except the air conditioner. Before you leave the campground, make sure to plug back into the vehicle. This is the city fill. It connects the water from the campground directly to your pipes. We also have this adapter inside the vehicle. This should always go in between the water hose and the motorhome in order to regulate the pressure and prevent damage to the pipes. Behind this door is your propane tank. The oven, stove, fridge, heater, and water heater all run on propane. To turn it on, turn the gray knob counterclockwise. To turn it off, turn the knob clockwise. Your propane tank will be full upon departure, and we ask you to return it full as well. Ask us about nearby filling locations before you go, or ask your campsite if you're on the road. Anywhere that fills propane will do it for you, so don't worry about how to fill it yourself. Make sure the propane tank is closed when not in use, like when traveling on a ferry or gassing up. You can fill fuel here. It takes 89 octane gasoline. It should be labeled mid-grade at the gas station. The sticker on the windshield will remind you if you ever forget. The fuel will be full when you leave and should be returned full to avoid charges. This is where you dump your wastewater. Let's bring the vehicle over to the dump station and walk you through the process. First, start by removing the sewer hose from the bumper. Take off the cap and attach the hose. Look inside the back storage compartment for a red adapter. This can be twisted onto the end of the sewer hose to make dumping easier. There are 2 wastewater tanks and they both drain from the same single outlet. Now that everything is connected, begin by pulling the black lever. This drains the black tank, which holds the toilet waste. You'll be able to hear it drain. When it's done draining, you can pull the gray lever. This drains the gray tank, which holds wastewater from the sink and shower. We do this second because it clears black water waste from the interior of the hose. When it's done draining, you can close both levers and disconnect the hose. Make sure all waste is drained from the hose before disconnecting from the dump station. If the black tank isn't draining completely, take the following steps. With the sewer hose set up at the dump station, open the black tank valve. Now attach the water hose to the flush valve and turn on the water. Wait until the sensor reads empty or the waste is removed. To prevent problems with the black tank, we'll give you more in-depth instructions when we'll look at the toilet inside. Moving on to the back compartment, this is where you'll find the water hose and levelers. If you're on uneven ground, you can drive onto them to level the vehicle. You can connect the water hose here to fill the potable water tank. It holds 151 liters. Down by the entrance to the coach are a few switches. The bottom one turns the coach battery on and off. Above it, you have the awning light and the awning opening and closing control. If the key is in the ignition, the awning won't extend. When driving, keep in mind that the awning sticks out a little further than the rest of the vehicle. For safety, you have a fire extinguisher to the right side of the entrance, a smoke detector on the ceiling, an LPG and carbon monoxide detector near the floor below the closet, and another smoke and carbon monoxide detector above the bed. Inside this cabinet, we have a kit to assist you on your travels. This includes 3 books and a box. The books are a campground guide, a road atlas, and the vehicle instruction manual. Inside the box, we have the 30 to 15 amp adapter mentioned earlier, the pressure regulator for the city fill connection, a flashlight, a lighter, screwdrivers, an info sheet with technical information about the vehicle, an incident report form, which must be filled out if the exterior of the vehicle becomes damaged during your trip, and finally, remote controls for your television and DVD player. Your vehicle may also come with a radio remote. Let's turn on the TV and take a look. The antenna has 2 power switches that need to be on for it to work. One above the entrance, and the more obvious one a few feet away. Once both are on, you can rotate the antenna like this to get a better signal. The more lights, the better your connection. To search for channels on the TV, just press the menu button, scroll over to Channels, Then press the Enter button 3 times. It takes about 5 minutes to complete the search. There's a release handle behind the TV. Once it's pulled, the TV's position can be adjusted as desired. To turn on the stove, push down and turn the dial for the burner you want to where it says Light, then turn the furthest left knob clockwise to spark the propane. You can adjust the size of the flame by turning the burner knob. The oven is controlled with the knob furthest to the right. To turn it on, push down and turn the knob to where it says Pilot On, then hold the lighter in this position at the back of the burners. Once the flame ignites, remove the lighter and turn the dial further to ignite the full row of burners and set the temperature. When you're done, make sure the dial is turned all the way to the off position. Always use the exhaust hood when you cook and have at least one window open to encourage airflow. This is your control panel. Press the Level Test button to see the levels of your wastewater, freshwater, propane, and battery. If you aren't connected to the city fill, you can turn on the water pump to build pressure in your pipes. The water heater should be turned on 10 to 15 minutes before doing dishes or taking a shower. When the switch is first flipped, the red light underneath it will come on. After about 20 seconds, it should turn off, indicating the water heater has successfully started. If it hasn't, make sure the propane tank is turned on. Holding down the Stop button will prime the generator for use and will show how many hours the generator has been used in total. After being primed, the generator can be started by holding the switch in the start position until the generator comes to life. To stop it, just hold down the Stop button again for a couple of seconds. As long as you have a place to plug in, you shouldn't have to use the generator. Press here to turn on the fridge. In the automatic mode, it will check to see if you're plugged into electricity, and if you aren't, it will automatically run on propane. If you're going to turn off the propane and aren't plugged in at the campsite, make sure to turn off your fridge as well. In the rare case a breaker kicks off or a fuse burns out, this will be the place to check. After opening up the vent here in the bathroom, you can press this button to turn on the exhaust fan. Please make sure the hatch is closed when you're driving or when it's raining. Now for the toilet. If the black tank is empty, you should add plenty of water, about 5 toilet bowls full, before using it. That way, waste can fall into the water rather than getting stuck to the dry bottom of the tank. To fill the bowl with water, pull halfway on this lever. To empty it, pull all the way. Once water has been added to an empty tank, you should also add a toilet chemical. This prevents odor and breaks down waste and toilet paper. Make sure to only use RV-safe toilet paper. Normal toilet paper, including 1-ply and septic-safe toilet paper, are not designed for RV tanks and can cause problems. This knob on the shower keeps the door secure while driving. The shower works as you might expect, with the addition of a button on the shower head to turn the water flow on and off. There are 3 sleeping areas: the main bed, the cab over, and the dining conversion. If you're planning on converting the seating area to a bed, wait until the end of this video and there will be an option available to see how it's done. Over here you have the temperature control. There are 3 options on the left aside from turning the unit off: heating, fan, and cooling. On the right you have on and auto. In the on position, whichever option on the left you select will run until you turn it off. In the automatic position, it will run until the coach area reaches the temperature you set up above. Any light that isn't controlled by a wall switch will have a switch on the light itself. All your windows have blinds. For extra privacy, connect the 4 buttons from this curtain to the wall. That's it for the tour. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask our staff.